On a rainy day, when the streets are full of people rushing about their business, a routine accident can be someone's lucky ticket to a one-way trip. But for some, such a simple way out is impossible. A girl in pink sneakers walks along the wet asphalt, knowing that her life is a slow death. People call this condition different things. Some consider it luck, others a curse. But the girl with blue hair walking under a purple umbrella is sure that life and death have never been about luck. Her eyes see what is hidden from others. Glowing numbers float above people's heads, their number of lives. In the crowd, a woman with coffee in her hands apologizes desperately, repeating it over and over again. She hurriedly bumps into a passerby, muttering apologies and explaining that she is in a great hurry. As she runs away, she thanks him for his understanding. The number 41 glows above her. A blue-haired girl watches her, noting to herself that she didn't even manage to touch her. Suddenly, she herself is roughly pushed in the shoulder. An aggressive-looking guy yells at her, calling her stupid for standing in the road. The number 76 hangs above him, which immediately changes. The girl is in shock. She saw the number change again. All because when she touches people, the number changes. She is overcome with despair as the truck honks its horn deafeningly. The truck driver yells at her, asking if she is looking for death, and says he barely managed to brake in time. Passers-by whisper about her carelessness. The thought that she almost died in the accident only makes her feel disappointed. She was afraid of death. She walks away, while someone off-screen reproaches her for her strange behavior. In the darkness, she thinks she has already apologized. She feels light, as if she is floating, and thinks she will never see them again. Clenching her fist, she realizes that this nightmare will never end. Sitting on the roof, she makes sketches in her notebook. She knows she can change people's lives and deaths, but she is powerless to decide her own fate. Suddenly, someone's feet descend from above, and a voice asks why she can't die. A man with dark hair and red eyes appears in front of her. He repeats his question. The girl is stunned. Her eyes, with crosses in her pupils, are wide open in surprise. In a panic, she screams at him not to come near her. He ignores her request, and she notices with horror that there are no numbers on his body. She asks him who he is. The man smiles mysteriously. He introduces himself as Death. The girl freezes in horror. He offers to help her die. He hugs her, and she realizes that she has met the god of death himself. Death stands on the roof of a skyscraper, looking out over the city. He says that his job is to listen to people before they die and read their death sentences. He winks and informs her that the mortality rate here is 99%. He explains that every god of death has a unique sword for the ritual of taking souls. His sword appears, and he offers her his help again. He touches her face, saying that his sword is special. He summons his sword, and it materializes right out of her stomach. The god of death is perplexed. He cannot understand how she could have absorbed his sword. The girl is confused and does not understand what has happened. Death is confused. How can an ordinary person be invulnerable to his sword? He finds this situation very amusing. A teacher appears and scolds the girl for not being in class. Death explains that only she can see him. The teacher comes closer, not understanding who she is talking to. The teacher turns to Death, asking why he is not wearing a school uniform and who he is. Death is surprised. Can this woman see him too? He assumes that it is because the girl has absorbed his sword and touches her hand, causing it to glow. The teacher, ignoring Death, asks the girl again what class she is in. Death decides that something must be done about this. He declares that he will get rid of this annoying woman and swings his arm. The girl asks in horror what he is going to do. Suddenly, Death feels a sharp pain. He realizes that this pain has been haunting him from the very beginning. He grabs his chest, feeling a strange, tingling sensation. The girl asks anxiously if he is okay. He says he needs to leave. Approaching her, he asks her to take care of his sword and promises to return. He disappears, leaving the girl completely bewildered. The teacher stands right in front of her and asks if she heard her name being called. The number 57 hangs above the teacher. The teacher grabs her by the hand and demands that she return to class. The girl shudders in surprise. The girl agrees. The teacher lets her go, advising her not to walk on the roofs anymore and to focus on her studies. The girl asks the teacher if she saw another person next to her. The teacher replies in confusion that she was alone there and asks again what class she is in. The girl realizes that Death told her the truth. She thinks about him, about Death. She knows he will return. The action moves to the empire of the god of death. Someone thinks what is happening is cool and wants to see it. He has a statement in his hands, requesting to remain in the human world for 6 months due to special circumstances. An authoritative man with tattoos is interested in what these special circumstances are and whether the applicant is stuck. His subordinate reports that this is a temporary problem that will be resolved in a few days, and that they just need to follow the procedure. The boss waves him off, ordering him not to bother him with such trifles, but to simply solve the problem. Back in the classroom, the students try to hang something on the board by climbing on the desk. Classmates laugh at the blue-haired girl, calling her weird, and joking that ghosts help with cleaning. When she enters the classroom, everyone immediately falls silent. The teacher announces that there is a new student in the class. She writes his name on the board, Zuyi. The teacher asks the class to welcome the newcomer. A new student enters the classroom, and it turns out to be Death in a school uniform. The girls immediately start whispering about how handsome he is. A blue-haired girl, wiping her desk, offers him a seat next to her. Zhu-Yi walks down the aisle while his classmates continue to admire him. He approaches her desk and asks permission to sit next to her. She looks around the classroom suspiciously, noticing many empty seats. She finds this strange and wonders if he knows her. He sits down next to her, and the whole class watches them. She decides that he is just a new classmate. He turns to the boy sitting behind him and asks him to give up his seat. In a funny sketch, he makes the boy switch seats with him with a single glance. The teacher encourages everyone to befriend Zhu-Yi and continues the lesson. Zhu-Yi is now sitting right behind her. The girl is shocked that he has suddenly become her classmate. He smirks as if reading her thoughts. Propping his head up with his hand, he asks if she is looking at him. She thinks about how Death is now next to her. She wonders if she should call him Zhu-Yi instead of Death. The other girls surround him, bombarding him with questions about his previous school. One of them asks why he sat next to her. Zhu-Yi coldly replies that she is too noisy. He asks if they know each other and if they have any kind of relationship. He turns away from her and asks the blue-haired girl if she is going to go with him. The students begin to whisper, surprised that he knows the strange girl, and discuss her difficult personality. The girl jumps up when Zhu-Yi stands up. Her classmates think she has lost her voice. Someone remembers that she used to refuse everyone before. Zhu-Yi thinks irritably that he has to put up with a simple person. He looks at her and asks if she really doesn't understand. He talks about the difference between her and other people, declaring that he no longer wants to stay in such a boring place. He grabs her by the hand. He leads her away with him. She follows him, thinking that since he is the god of death, she doesn't need to worry about other people's opinions. She realizes that he is the one she can touch. She stops him. He turns around and asks what she wants. She asks where he is taking her. Suddenly, she notices something that surprises her. A number. He asks where her house is. He announces that they are going to her house. A classmate asks Zhu-Yi what he is looking at. Zhu-Yi hides his notebook and replies that he is not looking at anything. In a humorous sketch, the teacher scolds him for his hairstyle and earring. Zhu-Yi asks the girl again what she said. She demands an explanation. Why did he become her classmate and now wants to go to her house? She asks what his goal is. She concludes that he wants to kill her and suggests that he not delay. He explains that because of his sword, an unbreakable bond has formed between them, and now she will be in constant danger as long as she is near him. The girl starts coughing. He holds her and asks ironically if she is so eager to die. He says that she is very interesting, and he just needs a toy. He suggests checking if she really can't die, or else the god of death will lose. He tells her that if she wants to die, she must be obedient. Other students notice them together and recognize him as the new kid. Meanwhile, another guy, Yulai, pets the cat and asks if she is hungry. He notices that that girl didn't come to feed her today and treats the cat to a sausage. He asks the cat if he will see her tomorrow. Let's go back to Zhu-Yi, who categorically refuses to stay in her lousy house. Once inside her modest dwelling, he asks with disgust if this is really her home. He complains that his bathroom is several times larger. The girl picks up a broken flower from the floor. She reminds him that he wanted to come himself. She cuts her hand on the broken pieces, and blood begins to drip from the cut. She is in shock. She realizes that the wound will not heal on its own, as it did before. She hopes that the god of death was right, and that she will finally be able to break free. She holds out her bleeding hand to him. He smirks, takes her by the wrist, and announces that the game has begun. He says that they will play slowly, and that she is not allowed to leave the game. Later, the girl, whose name, as we learn from the note, is Lion Mayan, receives a note from the girl who feeds the same cat. Another student calls her by the name Yulai. She thinks she no longer needs to feed the cat. She remembers seeing this guy on that rainy day and realizes she was right. Yulai sighs with relief, thinking she got away with it. He is happy that he really got the numbers 0, he asks her if everything is okay. He comes closer, saying that she may not know but he notices that she doesn't have an umbrella and offers her his. She refuses. He insists, putting the umbrella in her hand. Their hands touch. She pulls her hand away sharply, telling him not to touch her. She leaves, leaving him confused. He didn't expect such a reaction. He thinks how harsh she is. A week passes. 2 workers are dragging heavy boards up the stairs, complaining of fatigue. One of them slips, and the boards fly down. They are about to fall on Lion Mayan. The worker shouts at her to be careful. He apologizes and offers to take her to the infirmary, but she refuses. She thinks about how dangerous situations have been haunting her for a week. Her wounds no longer heal, but she cannot die either. The worker insists on going to the infirmary, saying that she looks very pale. She wonders if the god of death is the cause of all these injuries. 2 classmates ask Lion Mayan to help them carry a box to the storeroom. With sly smiles, they tell her that since she loves solitude, she can enjoy it in the storage room. After locking her in, they leave, calling her a walking disaster and wishing her all the best. In the dark storage room, Lion Mayan feels herself losing consciousness. She resigns herself to the fact that she brings misfortune and believes that people are better off staying away from her. The dizziness intensifies due to her recent injuries, and she feels the wound reopening. Zuyi watches her from afar and is amazed at her resilience. She has not cried out in pain once. Yulai spins a basketball on his finger until his friend asks him to stop. His classmates discuss how Lion Mayan rejected Yulai and believe she needs to be taught a lesson. Yulai is concerned, remembering that she was injured. He asks the gossips where Lion Mayan is. Yulai runs down the hallway toward the storage room. He knocks on the door. Inside, the injured Lion Mayan weakly asks who is there. He continues knocking, asking if anyone is inside. Zuyi appears and stops him, saying he is too noisy. Zuyi claims that no one is inside. Yulai apologizes, saying he didn't notice him. Zuyi says that Yulai must have heard a mouse. Yulai insists that he knows someone is locked inside. Zuyi smirks and asks if he has come to rescue her. Then he simply kicks the door down. They look inside, and Yulai calls out to Lion Mayan. Lion Mayan, bleeding profusely, sees Yulai's blurred silhouette and thinks it is him again. She loses consciousness, thinking of Zuyi, while Yulai promises to take her to the infirmary. Zuyi stops him, saying he will do it himself. He picks her up in his arms. Zuyi recalls what he heard most often. It was people begging for mercy. He remembers how people begged him to spare their lives. A child in the hospital asked what he had done wrong. A man asked to be released to his family. Others showed disrespect, calling him a joke and chasing him away. They denied his very existence. They cursed him, saying that only those who went to hell became gods of death. But no matter what they did, when they met him, they all died, and she, lying in bed, asks him to kill her. Lion Mayan wakes up in an unfamiliar, luxurious room and does not understand where she is. She sees Zuyi sleeping and is surprised. She remembers calling his name when she was wounded. She remembers realizing that the god of death was carrying her and asking him not to go to the infirmary. She remembers how he reassured her, saying that he had no intention of going. Getting out of bed, she wonders if she is in hell. She cannot understand if it is a dream or reality. A voice tells her that she has a fever. She finds herself kneeling in front of Zuyi, who says that this is his house. She asks if she is dead. He wonders how long she's going to lie there like that. He looks at her and notices that her face is very red. He thinks about how his sword is still in her body, and without it, he cannot kill her. He suggests that she lie down on the bed. She realizes with surprise that she is not lying on the bed. He touches her forehead, assuming that she is acting strangely because of the heat. She pushes his hand away, realizing that he is the god of death. He asks if she has finally woken up. She crawls away in panic, thinking he is too close. He watches her and cannot understand why he feels that. She has blushed even more. She feels weak and dizzy. He wonders why she is losing consciousness again. He cannot understand how such a fragile girl could have absorbed his sword. She falls unconscious. He calls her a burden. He thinks that some things are like poison, tempting him. They poison him, and it becomes harder and harder for him to resist. He sees numbers around him and thinks that this is her destiny, a destiny from which she can never escape. Lion Mayan wakes up from a nightmare, repeating that she cannot escape her fate. She reassures herself that it was just a dream, because the gods of death have no numbers. She sees Zuyi at the table, discussing human food. He asks why she is sneaking around. He complains that he can hardly swallow it. She looks at him hopefully, wondering if he can help her escape her fate. She addresses him as God of Death. He instantly appears behind her and turns her around. He offers her food, but she refuses. He notices that she is not afraid of death, but at the same time, she is afraid of being touched by people. He takes out a knife and orders her to turn around. At this moment, Yulai remembers the wounded lion Mayan and hopes that she is all right. A friend calls him to play ball. Yulai refuses, citing business. His friend teases him, asking if he is going on a secret date. Yulai denies it, saying that he is just going to feed the cat. He arrives at the place, but the cat is not there. He finds a note on the fence and is outraged at who could have done such a thing. He calms the invisible cat, saying that everything is fine now. He takes down the note to read it. The note says, "Specially for the autistic girl." He remembers seeing Lion Mayan here. He tries to understand what is going on. At night, the girl with the ponytail sees that the note is gone and wonders if the autistic girl came. She is about to hang a new note, but Yulai calls out to her, saying that he was waiting for her. She is frightened and asks who is there. He asks her directly if she hung that note on the cat. Upon recognizing Yulai, she is frightened and excuses herself, saying that she only wanted to teach Lion Mayan a lesson. Yulai is surprised to hear the name Lion Mayan and the nickname Autistic Girl. He realizes that her name is Lion Mayan. The girl explains that Lion Mayan is known at school as a walking disaster. She adds that anyone who gets involved with her will get into trouble. Yulai asks, so what? He asks if that's a reason to torment an animal. He tells her to stop hiding behind a false sense of justice and declares that the only misfortune for this cat is herself. He warns that if he sees her bullying the cat again, she will be in trouble. The next day at school, everyone is talking about Yulai. The students see him walking to school with Lion Mayan and wonder why he is associating with walking misfortune. Zuyi notices them and snorts contemptuously. Yulai is stunned by the crowd's reaction. He turns to Lion Mayan and loudly offers her his friendship. His classmates are shocked by such a public statement. Zuyi tells her that he is sorry, and she turns away from Yulai. The students whisper that she rejected him. They say that it is in her nature. Zuyi calls it a waste of time and leads her away. Yulai is left alone. During class, Lion Mayan drops her pen and apologizes to Yulai, afraid that she has hurt him. Zuyi catches the pen, surprising her. He calls her annoying. Behind her back, her classmates whisper again about the autistic girl. Lion Mayan comes to the cafeteria. All the seats are taken. She is noticed by the same girls who locked her in the storage room. They tease her, reminding her that she rejected Yulai and say that she is not welcome here. They demand that she leave. When she leaves, they gloat that she will never find friends. Suddenly, a man grabs one of the girls. He puts a knife to her throat and threatens to kill her. He yells that she will die if her father does not repay the debt. The girl begs for mercy. Panic breaks out in the dining room. Lion Mayan stays where she is, wondering why death is always around her. She sees the numbers above the heads of the hostage and the attacker changing chaotically. She decides to switch places with her. The man asks who she is. She replies that it doesn't matter. Yulai pushes through the crowd, shouting her name. Lion Mayan offers the man to let the girl go in exchange for money, saying that she has a contagious skin disease. He pushes the first girl away, calling Lion Mayan brave. He takes Lion Mayan hostage. He threatens to kill everyone if the girl calls the police. Yulai watches in horror. Meanwhile, Zuyi is looking for a way to pull out his sword. Yulai realizes that Lion Mayan is in danger and rushes forward. Someone tries to stop him. He demands that the criminal let her go first. The criminal asks who he is. He brings the knife closer to Lion Mayan's throat. Someone in a cap grabs the criminal's hand, urging him not to do anything stupid. The criminal yells that he just wants to get back what is his. The man in the cap turns out to be a police officer and disarms him. He whispers to Yulai that his colleagues are already on their way. The criminal is furious that they called the police. He blames Yulai for everything and lunges at him with a knife. He slips on the spilled drink and falls. Lion Mayan blames herself again. She bitterly thinks that others always die around her, but not her. She clenches her fists. She refuses to accept such a fate. She challenges the criminal. He is furious. His number flashes. He asks if she is tired of living. At that moment, the police burst in and the criminal falls unconscious. Yulai doesn't understand what happened. The police officer asks Lion Mayan if she neutralized the criminal. She denies it, saying that he fainted on his own. She thinks to herself that she only wanted to save Yulai. The police call an ambulance. They ask her to go to the police station to give a statement, and she agrees. Yulai asks if she's okay. She replies that she is. She asks him to refrain from such actions in the future. He thinks she hasn't changed at all, but is glad she is safe. Later that evening, she is thanked at the police station and allowed to go home. Zuyi appears and says he will take her to a place. He says he needs her help. She suggests postponing it until tomorrow, as it is already late. He cuts off her objections. He asks if she is going to disobey him. He takes her to the top of a hill, overlooking the city at night. She admires the beauty of the view. He announces that a ceremony will take place here. He leads her behind him. He says he is going to return his sword. He takes off his jacket and orders her to undress. She is shocked. He explains that the book says clothes get in the way. He unbuttons his shirt. He approaches her and offers his help. She blushes, refuses, and says she will do it herself. He says she doesn't have to take everything off, and he won't stare. He thinks girls are a complete headache, but her embarrassed face seems much more interesting to him than usual. He impatiently asks why she is taking so long. She takes off her jacket and asks if that is enough. He replies that it is. His sword begins to come out of her chest. He tells her to remove her hand. He announces the start of the ceremony, but when he tries to pull out the sword, she falls. He is puzzled as to why the ritual failed. He wonders if his sword rejected her, or if she did. Elsewhere, the bandit receives money. He is ordered to teach her a lesson. The instigator is confident that this time, Lion Mayan will not get away. The students discuss the recent incident and the fact that the autistic girl saved someone. The instigator is angry that rumors about her are spreading. She continues to spread false rumors about Lion Mayan, but no one believes her. She decides that Lion Mayan is now trying to seduce Yulai and vows to take revenge on her tonight. Lion Mayan walks down the street. Summer is approaching. Yulai catches up with her and says that the teacher praised her today. She asks why he is following her again. He suggests that they feed the cat together. She says that she no longer. Gangsters block their path. Yulai asks who they are. The gangsters reply that he doesn't need to know. They say they only want the girl behind him. Yulai realizes that this is related to a past incident and stands up to defend her. The leader threatens him with a knife and tells him to get lost. He says they have something to discuss with her. His accomplice asks what to do with the guy. Yulai sees his chance. While the leader has the knife in his hands, the leader orders him to leave again. Lion Mayan realizes that Yulai is also involved in this because of her. She doesn't know what to do. Yulai sees that there are too many of them, but he is determined to protect her. Lion Mayan steps forward and says that they came for her. The leader tells her not to rush. He says he will deal with the guy first. He promises to play with her later. Yulai strikes the leader, who yells, asking if he is looking for death. The gangsters attack Yulai. Another 0 is added to the count. Yulai asks if she is okay. Lion Mayan realizes that she cannot let this continue. She yells for them to let him go. She realizes that there are too many of them and that it is dangerous to act rashly. The leader offers her a deal. If she pleases him, he will let the guy go. She agrees, thinking that the main thing is that he is okay. She thinks it will all be over very quickly. The beaten Yulai asks them to let her go. He falls, feeling that his body is not obeying him. The leader laughs, saying that she is quite pretty. Suddenly, Zuyi appears. He thinks with disgust about these vile people. The leader tells her not to rush. His accomplices urge him on. Lion Mayan closes her eyes. Zuyi calls them a bunch of losers. The leader says they won't hold back. A sudden gust of wind knocks him off his feet. Zuyi announces that this is where it will all end. The leader asks where he came from and threatens to deal with him. The bandits see their boss defeated. Lion Mayan realizes that this is the god of death. Zuyi asks the bandit why he is no longer shouting. He calls them scum. The bandits are terrified. They realize they are facing a monster. Zuyi addresses those who no longer want to live. He invites them all to come forward at once. The bandits scatter in panic, shouting that he is not human. He says that none of them will leave. He comes to his senses and does not understand why he intervened. He does not understand his sudden fit of rage. Lion Mayan calls him. He doesn't understand what's wrong with him. She thinks that the god of death has just saved her. She approaches Yulai and looks at the numbers. She clenches her fists, remembering what she had already told him. She cries and screams that she told him to ignore her. She cries, not knowing what to do. Yulai, wounded, also doesn't know what to do. He hears crying and doesn't understand who is crying. He can't watch her cry. He hugs her and asks her not to cry. He says he can't stand to see a woman cry. She is horrified to see that the numbers are changing again. Yulai apologizes. He says she must be very scared. She sees that his number hasn't changed. A special story about Little Red Riding Hood begins. Lion Mayan, dressed as Little Red Riding Hood, searches the forest for sweet fruit. She notices fruit on a tree. She rejoices at her find. Legend has it that whoever eats the sweet fruit will find eternal happiness. She picks the fruit, hoping to share it with everyone. She looks for her cat, Spotty. She sees a butterfly and follows it. She thinks Spotty is chasing butterflies again. She climbs into the bushes to catch him. She grabs something black. She pulls Zuyi out of the bushes in the form of a wolf holding Payetnishko. She is shocked. She asks what he is doing there. He replies that the whole forest belongs to him. He threatens to eat Payetnishko if he doesn't stop growling. He declares that the fruit is also his. She objects that she has never heard of such a thing. He asks if she is going to contradict him. He approaches her and asks if she is not afraid of him. She says that this is their first meeting, so why should she be afraid of him? And then retreats in fear. A funny diagram shows all the wolf's frightening attributes. She realizes with horror that he is not human. Yulai appears in the guise of a hunter and orders the wolf to stay away from her. The hunter mocks the wolf, saying that his only power is to scare people with his fangs. The hunter pets Speckles and asks the wolf if it is his dog. The hunter calls Speckles. He tells the wolf that the dog looks like him. The wolf gets angry and demands the return of the fruit, which grows once every 500 years. He reaches out his hand. Little Red Riding Hood remembers how her classmates promised to play with her if she brought them the fairytale fruit. The hunter suggests looking for the fruit elsewhere. He comforts her, saying that everyone will understand how kind and sweet she is. The wolf is surprised by her behavior. The hunter tells him not to meddle in other people's business. The wolf remembers how he first saw her in the forest. He watched her clumsily searching for something on the second day. He watched her for many days, seeing her futile attempts. Taking pity on her, he decided to give her some fruit. The hunter is surprised by his generosity. The wolf says it's nothing. The hunter can't believe the wolf's kindness. The wolf says that their ideas about him are a couple of 100 years out of date. Little Red Riding Hood remembers that in the fairy tale, the wolf was very dangerous. A classic dialogue from the fairy tale is quoted. She realizes that the fairy tale is not entirely accurate. This wolf doesn't seem so bad to her, but she thinks that the part about the enmity between the wolf and the hunter may be true. End of the special story. Back to the main story. A memory of someone shouting to catch the ball. Lion Mayan thinks that hope is also a kind of burden. She thinks about the hope that the number 0 gives you lie. She doesn't have the courage to check if the numbers have changed because of her. She hopes that her presence will not affect his luck. A friend tells Yulai that he is a fool because she ignores him. Yulai admits that he knows this. Zuyi thinks he hasn't been this angry in a long time. He believes that anyone else in his place would have taught those scumbags a lesson. He wonders, is he really so upset because of her? Yulai looks for Lion Mayan, but is told that she left right after class. He assumes that she went to feed the cat. He finds the cat, but not her, and realizes that she is avoiding him. He admits that she has never been particularly friendly to him, but he hoped that their relationship would improve. He calls himself a fool and drops his notebook. He asks himself why he is doing all this. He decides that he doesn't care about the rumors, because in his memories, she has always been a kind and bright girl. He realizes that he would be even more foolish if he gave up. He finds her in the park. He doesn't dare to call out to her. Zuyi stops him. He tells Yulai that he is trying to bite off more than he can chew. He orders the brat to stay away from her. Yulai is confused, not understanding why he calls him his younger brother. He recognizes him as the guy from the restaurant. Zuyi advises him to study instead of chasing girls. Otherwise, he will get hurt. Yulai thinks that he didn't suffer because of his relationship with Lion Mayan. He regrets that he can't protect her. Zuyi asks what if he suffered because of her. He says that he won't listen anyway. Yulai doesn't understand what he means. Zuyi says he warned him. The class is discussing Yulai and Lion Mayan again. Lion Mayan is lying on her desk while her classmates continue to gossip. Zuyi addresses her. He doesn't understand that she is listening. He pulls out her earphone and discovers that there is no music. She is outraged by his rudeness. He realizes that she was pretending and heard everything. A girl's voice is heard, saying that she is ready to become autistic if that's what boys like. Zuyi says that she doesn't want that boy to suffer the same isolation. He reminds her that their mission is not complete, and one more person nearby will be a problem. She says she tried her best. She hits the desk in despair. In the hallway, a gust of wind scatters the papers Yulai was carrying. The papers fall into a puddle. His classmates help him pick them up. Yulai thinks his whole day is a complete disaster. He laments that even the wind is against him. Zuyi says in class that the wind is very strong today and smiles. Lion Mayan helps her classmates clean up. She thinks that the god of death always disappears when it's time to work. Yulai, passing by, complains about his streak of bad luck and associates it with Lion Mayan. A bucket of water falls from the desk and splashes Lion Mayan. Yulai runs up to her. She is soaked and doesn't know what to do. He asks her not to avoid him and promises not to touch her. He says he doesn't want her to get hurt. She backs away, saying she thought he didn't want to get close to her. He says embarrassedly that he just wanted to talk. He offers her his jacket. He leaves, waving goodbye to her. He is happy, but when he turns around, he can't find her. She decides to leave his clothes on his desk. Zui asks if they are that guy's clothes. He takes the clothes from her, saying he will return them himself. He finds Yulai in the gym. Returning the clothes, he notices that Yulai seems to like overcoming difficulties. He reminds her that he warned her about misfortune. Yulai replies that she doesn't want to distance herself from him. Zui asks why. Is it because he wants to be her friend? Yulai asks what if he loves her. Zui is shocked by this confession. Yulai is indignant, asking why he is acting like a senior. Zui thinks about his age of 200 years, and confirms that he is older. He turns away from Yulai. Yulai asks what his relationship with Lion Mayan is. Zui replies that it is none of his business and advises him to take care of himself. Yulai asks if she asked for her clothes back. A basketball flies toward Zuyi. The other players run up to him. He tells them that everything is fine because they are made of different dough. Lion Mayan asks about Yulai's condition at the infirmary. The nurse says he has another head injury. Lion Mayan thanks her. She looks at the sleeping Yulai and calls him an idiot. She rests her head on his bed, thinking she doesn't like it. She is afraid that if he forgets her sins and bad memories, everything could be better. Zuyi asks why she has such a sour face. He reproaches her for letting Yulai suffer. He reminds her that she wanted to stay away from him. She grabs him, claiming that Yulai touched her himself. She says she wants him to be safe. She desperately asks what difference it makes whether she is with him or not. She accuses him of abusing his power, but he interrupts her. He asks if that's what she wanted. He is annoyed that she has become so talkative because of this. He asks what will change if he admits his guilt. He uses magic, saying that Yulai has nothing to do with it. She is frightened. He asks if she has forgotten. He reminds her that he is the god of death. She realizes that he is very dangerous now. He declares that he will do whatever he wants. The narrator explains that the god of death has always been cruel and lonely. People used him for their own purposes. Therefore, he could only rely on himself. He feels pain in his chest again. He cannot control his emotions. He returns to Lion Mayan's destroyed house, where she is sitting on the ruins. He asks what she is going to do. She replies that it is none of his business. He says that it is up to her and leaves. She is angry with him. She is outraged that he decides everything himself. She cries, saying that all he knows how to do is scare and destroy. She screams that he has no right to treat others this way. He hugs her from behind. She is surprised that he hasn't left. He asks if she has a lot of complaints about him. He confirms that he does whatever he wants. She is shocked that he heard everything. He asks if she would be okay with him doing that. He lays her down on the sofa. He says that from now on she will live with him. She demands that he restore her house. She calls him unreasonable. He thinks he can't use magic again. She tries to leave, but he won't let her. He shows her a photo of her with her mother. She is surprised that he has the photo. She says that important things are left in her house. He offers her any things and clothes she wants. She says she needs a doll, the doll her mother gave her, without which she cannot sleep. At the hospital, the gangster complains to his boss and demands revenge. The boss looks at the photo. He sees Zuyi in the photo and calls him simply handsome. Lion Mayan wakes up, thinking her mother is waking her up. It is Zuyi, who wishes her good morning. He has made her breakfast. He urges her to go to school. He asks why she is frozen in place. At school, he sees that her seat is empty and assumes that she has gone to Yulai again. He remembers Yulai's confession and gets angry. Lion Mayan asks someone in the infirmary to speak more quietly because Yulai is sleeping. She sits by his bed and wishes him a speedy recovery. She notices that he is holding something in his hand and thinks it is for her. He falls asleep on her shoulder, and she sees movie tickets. At that moment, the world stops for her. His steady breathing calms her. He wakes up. He apologizes awkwardly, and she says it's okay. She thinks that when he touches her, his number doesn't change. He notices that she is acting differently. Someone calls Lion Mayan from the hallway. She is embarrassed and quickly leaves. Yulai shouts after her to wait. He realizes that he forgot to tell her about the tickets. Zuyi appears and asks about the tickets. Yulai is shocked by his appearance and says that it is none of his business. Zooey thinks that movie tickets are a cliché way to confess. Yulai gets angry and asks how he knows. Zooey says it would be better if he didn't confess. Yulai doesn't understand. He asks if Zooey wants him to confess. The girl that Lion Mayan saved appears and looks for her. The gang leader appears and says that her fearless expression is cool. Zooey tells Yulai that it's not necessary. Yulai replies that he knows better, as it's their business. He asks Zooey not to interfere. Zooey smirks, noting that he is healthy enough. He tells Yulai to do as he sees fit. Yulai asks if that's why Zooey doesn't want him to get close to Lion Mayan. A flashback shows the gang leader taking Lion Mayan away because he loves her himself. Lion Mayan reflects on her dark life and her desire to give up. But a faint glimmer of hope keeps her going. Fear from her past reminds her that she does not deserve love. A voice in her head tells her to continue atoning for her sins. The gang leader asks Lion Mayan if she recognizes him. Zooey senses that something is wrong. The power of his sword wavers. In the infirmary, Yulai asks Zooey if he likes. Zooey disappears. The gang leader falls, wounded, but Zooey didn't even use his strength. Zooey explains that the gods of death are 30 times stronger than humans. He talks about the consequences of the god of death's wrath. The sword appears from Lion Mayan's body. She asks the gangster to kill her with this sword. Zooey thought he could take the sword after her death, but he did not expect that the bandit would actually try to kill her. Zooey steps on the knife, preventing him from killing her. He challenges the bandit. The bandit sees that the god of death is protecting her. Lion Mayan feels such intense pain. For the first time in her life, she realizes that she can only die by his hand. She wakes up in the hospital next to Yulai. She is surprised that the god of death did not kill her. She tries to get up, but Yulai stops her. She asks how long he has been there. He says he just arrived, but she catches him in a lie. Zooey sits on the roof. He doesn't understand what he is doing. He can't get Yulai's words out of his head. He is angry at himself for not being able to kill her. He calls it a joke. Yulai promises to take her to the movies and feed her when she gets better. He leaves to get food. Zooey appears in the ward. He asks why she didn't let that man kill her. He is surprised that this is the first thing she says to him. She replies that she always wanted to. He asks if she wants him to kill her. She says that gods of death exist to bring relief. He replies that he simply grants death. He decides to finish the job. He says she will see how the god of death kills without a sword, but he forgot that something was wrong with his magic. He coughs up blood. Lion Mayan is shocked to see him bleeding to death. The voice tells him that he has gone mad and shows that he cannot kill her. Zooey doubts whether he can now be called the god of death. The voice assures him that he can. Zooey recognizes the voice and becomes angry. The voice accuses him of disgracing himself because of a human. A white-haired man, Changyun, appears. Zooey denies that he has disgraced himself. Changyun demands the truth, but Zooey evades the question. Zooey reproaches him for arriving too late. He says he is leaving. Changyun reminds him that 6 months have almost passed. He asks why Zooey is not using his powers. Zooey gets angry and says he is just walking around. Changyun offers to help, but Zooey refuses. Changyun senses traces of Zooey's power. He realizes that this is a hospital. Lion Mayan thinks about the bleeding Zooey. She wonders if he has changed his mind about killing her. She suddenly starts to worry about him. She hopes that nothing will happen to him. She scolds herself for these thoughts. She convinces herself that he is the god of death and that he will be fine. There is a knock at the door. A masked doctor enters. It is Changyun. He says that she is recovering well. She thanks him. She notices that he has no number and wonders who he is. Changyun thinks that he did not expect to meet her here. He realizes that Zooey suffered because of her. He remembers her birth and thinks that the dawn of evil has come. Yulai waits for her discharge with flowers. Zooey thinks that the old man should have left already. Lion Mayan gives Yulai a gift. Zooey watches this and thinks that this brat does not deserve gifts. Yulai thanks her for visiting. He reminds her of their meeting in 5 days. Zooey is puzzled. He is angry that she is making plans with someone else. He reproaches himself for showing her his weakness. He teleports to her. She is surprised by his appearance. He says that the flowers have a pungent smell. He asks what the meeting is about. She pretends not to understand. He clarifies that he is talking about the meeting with Yulai. He approaches her and she backs away. He is angry, thinking that she does not want to talk to him. She admits that it is her birthday in 5 days. She says that Yulai is throwing a party for her. Zooey thinks about the birthday party. He thinks it is pointless. Changyun appears and asks what he is thinking so seriously about. Zuyi is surprised by his appearance. Changyun says he has just finished his task. Zuyi sends him away. Changyun says it won't be long. He says he will leave as soon as he finishes his most important task. He asks if Zuyi has been to any birthday parties lately. He clarifies whether he means the celebration of the god of death's birthday. He says that they usually forget about their birthdays. Zuyi thinks about gifts for the birthday girl. Changyun asks who he is going to give gifts to. Zuyi avoids answering. Changyun says that gifts should come from the heart. Zuyi agrees. He notices someone downstairs. Changyun says that someone is calling him. He leaves to fulfill his duties. He disappears. Zuyi hopes that he didn't notice anything. He hears a noise and goes to check. Lion Mayan slipped in the bathroom. She is panicking because he promised not to show up for an hour. She is embarrassed by his revealing outfit. He says she almost showed. She stammers that he promised not to show up. She yells that he is dressed too revealingly. They are both embarrassed. He tells her to get dressed quickly. She complains that his clothes are too big. She declares that she no longer wants to live there. Zuyi looks for clothes for her at the mall. He thinks that none of them suit her. At night, he searches the internet for gifts for girls. He is perplexed by the options available. He finds a list of gift meanings and finds it too complicated. He tries to remember what the gods of death gave her before. He imagines Yulai giving her a gift and gets angry. He decides to return to the realm of death. There, he is offered a gift box. He finds it too pretentious. The servant praises the box, but Zuyi interrupts him. He takes the box and promises to put in a good word for the servant. He hopes she will like it. Lion Mayan thinks about her upcoming birthday. She catches herself looking forward to the holiday. She arrives at the agreed-upon place. Her friends greet her with shouts of happy birthday. Yulai says that birthdays should be fun. He says that everyone wants to congratulate her. The girl she saved asks if Lion Mayan remembers her. She recalls the incident in the cafeteria. She approaches Lion Mayan. She thanks her for saving her and apologizes. She hands her a gift. She congratulates her and hopes that they will become good friends. Lion Mayan remembers how this same girl shouted that she regretted being friends with her. She accepts the gift and thanks her. Another guy appears and calls her an autistic again. He says that he is also autistic. He lists the ways in which he is autistic. He says that the word has become fashionable now. He urges her not to pay attention to the nickname. Yulai asks if that was an apology or a joke. The guy starts asking how she defeated the gangster. Yulai laughs, saying she's not a karatka. Their friendly banter continues. Yulai notices that Lion Mayan is laughing and senses something strange. They turn off the lights to bring in the cake. Lion Mayan makes a wish and thanks everyone. Zuyi lies in bed and thinks how pathetic the people at the party look. He doesn't understand what's so fun about parties. Changyun appears and says that this man has dulled his senses. Zuyi jumps up and asks what he said. Changyun says that Zuyi is actually weak. Zuyi doesn't understand what he means. Changyun asks how long he intends to hide the truth about his stay on Earth. Zuyi asks if he is mocking him. He says he will take care of his own affairs. Changyun says that since Zuyi has been on Earth, there hasn't been a single soul transition recorded. He says there's only one reason why the god of death can't do it: the sword problem. He asks where his sword is now. Lion Mayan is on the roof thinking about Zuyi. She scolds herself for waiting for his congratulations. A voice asks if today is her birthday. Changyun appears and congratulates her belatedly. She recognizes him as the one who had no numbers. She asks who he is. He asks her not to worry. He says he only came to congratulate her. He wishes that this would be her last birthday. He congratulates his younger sister on her birthday. She is shocked by his words. He asks if he scared her. She asks again if he is really her brother. He confirms it, saying that he recognized her by her eyes. He talks about her scar. He says he won't kill her with his sword because she is special. She asks if he is the god of death who is supposed to kill her. He says he has prepared a special gift for her. He asks if she knows what the abyss of memory is. He touches her eyes. He says she will fall into an eternal sleep from which she will never wake up. She feels herself falling. Zuyi appears and orders her to wake up. She wonders if he has come to congratulate her. Zuyi asks Changyun who allowed him to touch her. Changyun asks what she means to him. Zuyi replies that she does not need the touch of strangers. Changyun smirks. He says it's a pity that Zuyi doesn't know who she is. Zuyi tries to wake up Lion Mayan. Changyun says it's useless because she is already in the abyss of memory. He says she will never wake up again. In her memories, the woman finds a baby on her doorstep. She picks up the child and sees that it is raining heavily. She is surprised that the child is not wet at all. She thinks it is a gift from the gods, a gift that came with the rain. She has always loved rainy days. She tells the child that it is drizzling today too. She decides what to name her. Yulai holds Lion Mayan's ribbon in his hands. He remembers that she promised to wait for him here.